Are you all comfortable? Can I get a mic test? Everyone hear me? Okay, great. Ready? Time. Today, we are going to talk about role. My role as a barista, yours as a judge, my producer and roaster. We each play an important role in building a sustainable specialty coffee industry. The coffee that I use today is a reflection of that exact purpose, hard work and constant pursuit for coffee excellence. For this, I would like to firstly thank my producer for this coffee. He played the most important role today in growing coffee and improving flavors. And for this coffee specifically today, red and yellow fruits. There is some visual cards on the table that could guide you through my presentation, and the cup on your table is for your use spoon. I'm going to talk to you while I grind your coffee, and once again, welcome here. Thank you. The coffee that I'm going to serve you later goes through an anaerobic process. Coffee is sun-dried for 4 hours after picking, then go into a vacuum bag to leave to ferment without oxygen for 12 hours. When the bag is inflated, gas are then released, sealed again for a further 36 hours. Coffee cherries are then moved into a temperature control room for 45 days at 22 degrees Celsius to slow dry up to the moisture content of 11.5%. Now, such slow drying maturation allow the coffee cherries to mature slowly to develop a more delicate flavors and a smooth texture. We also find that this anaerobic process has a significant improvement on malic acid and the flavors like grapes. Now, all this information then prompt my roaster, who also play an important role today, to set course for a lighter roast profile. So this coffee was roasted slower during the drying phase, quicker in development time, and maintain the rate of rise about 2 to 3 degrees per minute after the crack. Now, this roast profile was also intended to bring out a smooth and delicate texture into the espresso that you are about to taste. So, all this information above then lead to my role as a barista today, which is to prepare and consistently serve you excellent coffee. However, the biggest challenge for me has always been optimizing taste quality. How do we know that one coffee is performing at its best? And I believe this has to do with degassing, especially in the light roast coffee. Light roast causes CO2 to build up and trap in the micropores, thus affecting extraction and taste. On taste, coffee tends to change from shot to shot. And on flavor, it could change from passion fruit from one day to grapefruit on another. And this has been creating an issue for me, whereby I do not have a full control over this variable. So today, to address this issue, I have a new method of preparation, which is grind, vacuum, then extract. All this coffee that I use was rested in a vacuum bag for 6 days and opened about 1 hour prior to competition time. Then all ground at one go and bring them to vacuum down at negative 0.55 bar pressure to remove partial of the CO2 that was created during roasting. Then all extract as soon as I could. Now, CO2 are typically a problem for extraction, and it releases the most during the first 10 days after roasting. So I would want to take control over this variable in order to serve you a better espresso today. Now, during grinding, cell walls are broken. Thus, CO2 that are trapped are released rapidly during this moment. And I will want to remove using the vacuum method. carbon dioxide are typically a problem for extraction, as it pushes water away during the first 10 seconds of brew and absorb too much during the end of extraction. So today, by removing and control the amount of CO2 that I want to remove, allow me to extract our espresso more even and even better. Allow me to take full control over the extraction to highlight a few flavor notes that I find extraordinary in this coffee. Today, your first course will be espresso course. I'm dosing 20.5 gram in and extracting 46 grams in your cup. Now this recipe allows me to achieve balance for both tactile and taste. We're going to start with taste balance first, okay? This coffee has a medium acidity, medium sweetness, and a medium to low bitterness. On flavor, please look for white grapes, mango, nectarine, and lavender. On tactile, this coffee has a medium body with a smooth and velvety texture in your espresso course, with a clean floral finish of lavender. Now just give me a second and I'll serve you espresso. All the tasting notes that I just gave you are in the cards that I have provided for you. Feel free to bring it back with you. There you go. Enjoy. Thank you. My pleasure. Please enjoy. There you go. Thank you. I'll be right back. Alright guys, for your milk coffee, I would want you to look for a few flavor notes. Lavender honey, strawberry, and vanilla custard. I find that this coffee works best with 80 ml of milk. When I extract them with 20.5 gram in, 40 grams out. There you go. Now this recipe, together with 80 ml of milk, allow me to achieve balance and enhance those flavors in our espresso earlier into strawberry and vanilla notes. The versatility of this coffee wouldn't be possible without the effort of Jose Gallardo from Finca Neguro, which is located at Jurutungu, Panama. There you go. This geisha is named as Colubre, which is located at the highest elevation of Finca Nuguo, up at 1930 meters above sea level, that allow this coffee to mature slowly and develop for a better acidity. Unfortunately, this year, Jose only able to harvest 300 kilos of coffee due to the weather condition at Finca Nuguo. There you go. And Colubre only consists 3% of its entire lot. So this is why my role as a barista today is to ensure each and every cup of coffee served is a reflection of dedication and progression of my roaster and producer. There you go, Chacha. Enjoy. I'll be right back. Thank you. Guys, we often talk about harvest, roasting, and making great coffee. But what's next? Today, that will be innovation. Moving ahead of time, each of our roles are unique. Jose improving flavor through processing. My roaster improving the tactile of our espresso. And I, enhancing your drinking experience as a host. So for my signature course, I will want to create 3 components that could represent all of us as a whole. Flavor, texture, and finish. We're going to start with flavor first, okay? Over here, I've extracted 4 shots of espresso earlier using the same recipe as our espresso course. 20.5 grams in, 46 grams out. Put them into a centrifuge to spin at 3000 RPM for 3 minutes. This in return allow me to remove fines and sediments, achieve higher clarity, acidity, while removing bitterness. I'm pouring them through a sieve to remove the excess fats and oil. This is going to contribute to the flavors of our beverage today. Next will be texture. I find that our espresso share a very similar texture with gin, smooth and velvety. So I'm gonna add in 15 ml of a homemade non-alcoholic gin that I made with 20 grams of juniper berry, 4 grams of each cassia bark, toasted coriander seed and green cardamom pod. Infused with 300 ml of water for 48 hours in the chiller. Making my own gin allow me to have a full control over ingredient use to complement with the espresso flavor. Next, finish. Now this is my favorite. It's a bitter tonic. I made this earlier as it required longer time in the chiller for 72 hours. But additionally, I'm gonna add in 0.5 gram of lavender, as this is the flavor that I find intensify when we extract our coffee under different water and environmental factor, which in Amsterdam, I've tasted more of the lavender. So we're gonna force infuse this with CO2. And this is going to complement with the flavor of our espresso today. Later, I'm gonna use 30 ml of this bitter tonic. Now, as for the recipe for the bitter tonic, I've made this with 12 grams of each grapefruit peel and lime peel, 5 grams of citric acid, 1 gram of allspice seed, 150 grams of water, with 50 grams of brown sugar. Later on, I will want you to enjoy this drink in 2 sips. This is a slightly chilled drink. Look for the flavors of lavender, passion fruit, and cherry cola. There you go. Please enjoy. There you go. There you go. Please enjoy. Thank you. I believe each of our roles today are dynamic, and all of you here today represent the 4th row, the clusters of customers around the world. So your feedback matters to me as a barista and our industry from the other side of the world. So thank you for allowing me to host all of you here today. It has been my absolute pleasure to represent Jose and my team. Thank you so much. Please enjoy. Time.